Bonjour. This is the second integrity video for your grammar lesson in Chapter 1, Part 1. We have already looked at the vocabulary, which features new ER verbs, and we've looked at how to conjugate ER verbs. Now it's time to learn one little secondary grammar point, which is how to negate. Negate meaning how to say, I do not do this, right? Okay, let me try to click on my contents. Click here to view your ebook. It's loading. It's important not only to feel very comfortable through practice of the ER verbs, but to know how to negate as well, because you don't do everything. Let's see. In your grammar lesson, they present some additional ER verbs. So they add to the list in Vocabulary 1. And then they give you la négation at the end of the page. So, to make a sentence negative, you place ne before the conjugated verb and pas after it. If there's a vowel sound at the beginning of the verb, you put in your little apostrophe, n apostrophe. So, if the affirmative is je regarde la télé, the negation of that is je ne regarde pas. Think of the verb itself as the meat in your hamburger. The ne pas are the hamburger buns, and they just stick right to that burger, right to the meat of that je ne regarde pas. That ne pas on either end of the verb, those two bookends, they are essential for turning the verb into a negation. Vous étudiez? Do you study? Étudier is an ER verb that you have already learned from préliminaire. You learned how to say j'étudie les mathématiques, for example. I study math. The negation, je n'étudie pas les mathématiques. Vous n'étudiez pas. Let's look at let's first take my little conjugation of jouer. Je ne joue pas. Tu ne joues pas. You ne joues pas. And here's that on. Remember, imagine a teacher scolding children and saying, on ne joue pas ici. You know, one doesn't play here. You know, those are the rules of the classroom. Nous ne jouons pas. Where did my vous go? It's over here. Vous ne jouez pas. Il ne joue pas. Elle ne joue pas. What about aimer? Watch, just as the J has the apostrophe, j'aime, je n'aime pas. Nous n'aimons pas. Tu n'aimes pas. Vous n'aimez pas. Il n'aime pas. Il n'aime pas. And it would be the same with étudier. J'étudie. I have to have my French on to do my accents. J'étudie. Je n'étudie pas. Tu étudies. Tu n'étudies pas. Il étudie. Il n'étudie pas. Nous étudions. Nous n'étudions pas. Ils étudient. I hear that z as the S is kind of linked to the E sound. Ils étudient. Ils n'étudient pas. Voilà. You just have to keep repeating until it becomes second nature. The activities assigned this week in the textbook, as well as in the ESAM, all will work at, on the one hand, helping you learn the new verbs and their conjugations, and on the other hand, helping you learn to conjugate. As you, bit by bit, repeat and drill yourself, bit by bit, you will learn to express yourself. And one of the kind of crowning activities of this week is activity J, called Les Activités, on page 42, where you will see sentences indicating whether you do or do not the following activities. So for number 1, for example, regardez la télé-réalité. Maybe you guys do. So I would say, vous regardez la télé-réalité. But moi, me, je ne regarde pas la télé-réalité. Je ne regarde pas la télé-réalité. The second one is parler de langue. I could actually make the sentence, nous parlons de langue, because you are speaking French now. Nous parlons de langue. But if I was to talk about my mother, I would say, elle ne parle pas de langue. Voilà. You just kind of take it step by step, with the crowning gem of this lesson being Activité J, page 42, which I'll actually assign later on in the week, after the first round of activities assigned in the textbook, which simulate what we would be doing in a classroom together. And you use these activities to kind of work through your knowledge. You watch activity, use activity, watch activity, etc. Towards the end of the week, your last little round of assignments simulates the homework, the ESAM activities with crowning jewel, Activity J, page 42. Voilà.